Howdy everybody, welcome to Step Into the Portal. My name is the Brandt, and I'm pretty excited today because one of my favorite games from last year, My Hero Academia CCG, just released their new set. I'm a little bit behind. I think it's been out for 2 weeks or so, or a week or so, but I finally managed to go pick up a box that I'm going to open for you. This is a game that I really like. In fact, I did a top 10 of 2021 list with Eric Summer over on the Dice Tower channel, huge board game channel, and I had listed this as my number one at the time. Then I got to play Arc Nova like 2 weeks later, and that was my favorite game of 2021. But this is a phenomenal card game. And I know a lot of people who are watching the channel play card games and other things like that. So I tend to be mostly a board gamer, but I really like this one. It's collectible, but it's very playable without collecting. Probably tournament-wise, if you're huge into that, you're probably going to need some of the slightly more expensive and harder to find cards. But for just picking up and playing the game, it's totally playable. The commons are very playable in the game, and it's really good. So if you're interested, this is your best place to start with this starter set. What do they call this? The Rival Box. This will give you 2 decks ready to go, ready to fight each other and learn the game. It does have a decent learning curve. It can be relatively confusing to play at first. And so you just need to get a couple plays under your belt, but it plays very fast. So you're talking 3-4 turns each and a game is over. So once you see that play out and you play 3 or 4 of those games, you know your first game is going to be like 30-35 minutes. But if you play a couple games in 2 hours, then you're going to be like, okay, now I understand how this game is going, and you will be set to go and build some decks yourself. So start here. This is your best place to start, and now this is the first set that they've released. I don't really know anything about this set. I played a whole bunch with this one, but I don't know as much. But I am going to be running events at our store, The Portal, which is what the channel is for. Throughout June, July, and August, I'm going to be running weekly plays of this game, or sessions of this game, so I am going to learn as well. So I don't know what's in here. Brian and Larry have opened a whole bunch and played a whole bunch and built decks and everything. This is where I'm starting. So here's your box, Crimson Rampage. So what happens in this game is you pick a hero, and I believe the original box had something like 18 heroes in it, or something around there. Sorry, I gotta get this open. And you get a hero, and they have 3 different like elements on them, and then you build a deck around one of those elements. So there's essentially 3 different ways, and what's neat is then the cards can be played in multiple of the heroes. I guess there's also villains, but we'll just call them all heroes. So that is kind of the way you build a deck. It's a 50 card minimum deck. There's essentially foundations and attacks. There are a few other cards like items and other things like that. So here is my like promo XR card. So I got Grape Rush. I don't think I even need to take this out. And so you can kind of see, with the lighting, you can see an attack card here. Kind of the idea that one's going to be kind of bad. So then these are my quirk packs. So these are bonus cards you get, kind of box toppers. I'm not as familiar with collectible games, but I imagine a lot of you are. So there's that. So I got Learning the Standards. That's kind of my first one here. So that's a cool one. And then there's usually 2. Yeah, I was going to say there's 2 in here. So I think there's like 6 or 8 of these cards to collect. So the more boxes you buy, the more you can get these ones. And again, they're neat because they're not really necessities in most of the decks, I would say. So works well. Advice for Winners. And there is All Might, who's kind of the biggest hero if you haven't seen the show. I imagine a lot of people have seen the show. Just walking around my school now, I work at an arts academy, but I see tons of My Hero Academia stuff all the time. So it's definitely a very popular show, which I can see a spot for people jumping in. And it's amazing how collectibles and collectible games have really jumped up as well. So I imagine for a lot of you, this show is also of interest to you. So the game might be there. All right, I'm going to slide the box out of the way. So these are commons, and I'm not going to go through all the commons because it's going to be a lot. But essentially, you've got foundation cards, which basically get played on the table, and then you can exhaust them for your checks. So this would need like a 0 check if I were to play this card. I would have to flip a card, and then the check value's down here. So like I would flip, and I'd get a 3, and that would be successful. But every card you play adds 1 to the ones previous. So then like if I was trying to check this card, it was a 4, and there were 2 cards before it, I needed a 6, and I flipped a 5, I could exhaust my foundation to make it a 6 is kind of the idea. So that is what's happening with those. I'm just going to sort these out. And then the attacks all have these enhances on them that also the heroes have, and you can do all these enhances every time there's like a phase of going back and forth and doing those. So it works out really neat. And then there's also action cards. So you'll see these blue cards are action cards. There's very few actions in comparison in the first set. There's, a handful, 8 or 10 actions or something like that. There's not a ton. But then they have the 3 symbols on them here, and that tells you who can use them in their deck, because the heroes have those. And here's one of my heroes. So I got Excited for Blood is my ultra rare card that I got here. And I don't actually know who that hero is. I'm pretty good with the first set, but this one I don't know as much. So here's a hero card. It tells you what their hand size is. They're going to be 5, 6, or 7 hand size. They're going to have health somewhere from 20 to... There's one character that has 36 or 35, I think. So it ranges based on their hand size and whatnot. And then it gives you their abilities that they have here. So this is the main character. Izuku Midoriya is kind of the main character of the story. And there's a new hero for him. So you can use that card to play him or his other hero. So they've got alternate versions of what's there. Other than that, I'm mostly just going to open and talk because I'll go through the game. But at some point, once we get things set up at the store, I will play some live games. In fact, I need to play with the box, with that rival box. So that will kind of help people to see that and make kind of a primer video so people know how to play. Minoru Mineta, there's another one of him. And I got another uncommon here. And then my rare is Airstream Driver. Oh, man. And this character was like the #1 hero. I can't remember his name either. He was like the original one before All Might. I'm sorry, I haven't watched the show in a little while now. So that is another ultra rare. So good so far. There are 24 packs in here. 10 cards in a pack. So, yeah, that's kind of the idea. If you go back a while on the channel, you will see Larry and I did some plays over Zoom one night, and you can see some plays of the game to get it there. It's honestly, once you start watching people play, it's one of the easier games to watch people play and understand, but it's a little complex to get started at first. Just kind of have to understand how all those things happen. Here's my rare, Revel at His Masterpiece. So there's that one. Nice. Sorry for my slight cold. Actually, don't have a cold or anything anymore. I am fully recovered from sick, but still have that little sniffle. All right, so we're sorting just these foundations and attack cards, and we'll go back later. So here is another one of the heroes, Tetsutetsu. So that's a 5 hand size with 32 health. So that's pretty interesting. We'll have to check him out. Another uncommon and another rare. This is the Rebound Sidekick. So the way that the attacks work on them is they're going to have an attack value and a speed. Sorry, attack damage and speed. And so the speed is going to add to what the defender has to play to defend. So when you defend, you play one of these block cards. Boy, that one's a 5. That's a weird card. And so then they basically take their block value plus your speed, and that's what they have to check to get there. And then there's locations on them as well. So that's kind of the idea of what's happening there. But yeah, it's funny, I'm putting all these commons and uncommons aside, but they're very playable cards. You will, like any game, if you start opening, a few boxes and whatnot and collecting, you're going to have, more than 4 copies, which is all you can have in a deck of a card. Oop, went right by him. That is Hitoshi Shinso. Nice, and that's a 7 hand size with 19 health. So you can see 5 hand size, 32 health, 7 hand size, 19 health. So a little bit different there. All right, and so far, sometimes you get extra rares in there, but I got another ultra rare. Yeah! That's cool, and it's got a little bit of a shine to it. That one only checks at a 2, so that one's going to be trickier, but it hits for 8 damage. So that is interesting for sure. Oh, we'll change things up. So this is part of a bigger game called Universus, and Universus has a whole bunch of sets, but they kind of, I don't know if they've reset it with My Hero Academia, but they're kind of making My Hero like its own self-contained with tournaments, and you don't use other cards. Spooky! So this is a rare that I got, and I also got an extra rare. So these often are other cards that have alternate art on them. So I've got this Evade and Copy, and these are foundations that I can play. So the Universus game has been around for a while, and there's like Mega Man and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and Cowboy Bebop and a whole bunch of others, but they're kind of having this one be where it's self-contained. and they're doing tournaments with all of this and everything, which obviously has been a little tricky to get going with COVID and whatnot, but we're there. All right, so Stain. So he's one of the big villains in here I know of. So there is his card. He like cuts people with his sword and then licks their blood and they freeze. It's actually kind of interesting. It's kind of neat. It's not as gross as it sounds. Like, it works out kind of interesting in the show and everything. So, Faith's Shield. I'm getting a lot of foundations in there. I'll have to read through those later because I want this unboxing to be in a reasonable amount of time. So I'm not going to sit here and read every single card. I guess I can drag these down just a little bit for the space. Here's my heroes. I'll put my action cards here. But yeah, that's what you're getting in there, and then you're going to work your way through. And sometimes even like with the ultra rare, some of my decks I only have 2 or 3, and I don't even put 4 copies of them because they're really good for certain purposes, but different for others. And this is also a game with the speed of it. You don't see all the cards in your deck necessarily, so sometimes you don't need those numbers, or the numbers are just there to give you enough of copies of that card, but you can work your way around it. All right, 2 more rares in this one. Defrosting is what I got. And Fruit of Our Labors is my extra rare. So you get these extra rares, which usually, like I said, they have the shine to them. Yeah, so let me know if this is something that's being played at your store, your area, if you're interested in it, if you're local to us. We're going to start putting up a night. I'm hoping, like I said, for about 12 weeks there. There's a couple I'll have to miss. I'm at Gen Con and a few other things. But we'll be playing this. So here's another version of Ochako, and she was in the original set. So we've got another version of her. And then I got Taiyaki Fanatic. So here's his one as well. But yeah, if you're watching this afterward, let me know if you've tried this out, if you're interested. Yeah, we never did like a primer video. We started really playing it a lot at that time where I was bringing everything home, and we're going to set up back at the store again, which will be nice. Excuse me, sorry. And we'll have all that. Mina Ashido. 6 hand size, 27 health. Face down cards in your card pool do not count towards progressive difficulty. So she'll play cards and then flip them, and they won't count as played. So that'll be kind of a neat trick that you can pull. They all have some little trick or change that they do. So there's Mina. Hellflame Javelin and Drop Kick Slicer. This looks like a Stain ability. Kick with a weapon. If you have 10 or less health, this card gets -1 difficulty. So it'd be a 4 instead of a 5 that I'd have to check. Ooh, but it's only a 1 check on it. That's interesting. So that makes some of these cards hard to play. Like, this is that's a secret rare. Whoa. Okay, so this was a card that would not be in this set. So its set number is 118 out of 117. So that's kind of my best card, my most expensive card, because there's 117 cards in the set, and it's the 118th card. So they call those secret rares. There were 2 in the original. I assume there's 2 in here. Maybe there's only 1. Hey, good box. Got a secret rare. That's what it comes down to. Okay. Yeah, I haven't even had the time to look at these and whatnot. Present Mike. So here's another one. 7 hand size, 17. And Cinder Convection. So he is a rare. You can also get extra rares of these heroes, which are really neat because they have the finish on them as well. Foil. Couldn't think of the term. All right. Here we go. Oh, I see another type of card in here as well. So here is Abaro Shiozaki. So I've got her there as well. 7 hand size. Lots of 7s and 5s we're seeing in here. And then, so these is the other type that they have, which are items? Huh. It's interesting. I don't even remember the name of this type of card. Asset. That's what it is. So this is an asset card. This would basically be on the table, and now I could play it. But of course, I have to check it. Then it has to move down. I have to play it. So it can be a little bit slow to get going. But these cards can be really useful. So I got this one. Box full of babies. Excellent. A box full of babies. So good. Yeah, since the pandemic, I've forgotten how much I love card games and building decks and working all my way through that. And this game, honestly, is fun even if you lose. Like, it's fun to just try to get a certain idea to work. There's so many different deck ideas. There's definitely, you know, some that seem to rise to the top and whatnot. Some heroes that seem to work a little bit better. But there's so many heroes, it's just going to happen. Mei Hetsume. So there's another one of them. And I got the Slashing Whirlwind. That's another stain card. It's an ultra rare. Nice. I don't know how many rares are in this set. I have to go check on a checklist. There's 117 cards in there. What are we thinking there would be for rares? I don't know. All right. Naito Monoma and ready, get set, go. So here is an action card. This is my rare. I guess I should check to see if he's uncommon. Cool. 6 hand size, 26 health. So that's a little more common on his there. I guess I should read through some of these heroes while I open the packs. All right, once per game, after your attack deals damage, gain all abilities on your rival's character for the rest of the game. This ability cannot be canceled. Interesting. Okay. So he can take other people's abilities. Your attack gains keyword trait of your choice. If it gained taunt, this attack gets +1 damage. Interesting. So you can use all those keywords, which would really help you build other decks as well. All right, and my rare is another ultra rare, Giant Bite Detention. There you go. Giant Bite Detention. This attack gains +3 speed. It has a combo with attack or high attack. I haven't seen high attack before. It's also an ally, so that's interesting. There's a hero in the first set, a bird hero who plays off of allies. It'll be interesting to see how that works in there. All right, and in this pack, my rare is Back Ellie Haymaker. It's a 4-speed mid-attack, 5 damage with EX2. So EX2 is you can pump up the damage. It is a punch. This looks like pretty strongly like an All Might and Midoriya card. But I'm sure there are new heroes I don't know about who also use punches. So that'll be interesting. All right, Graceful Maneuvers. Why do I keep getting this backwards? Not paying attention. Do I think it's a good long-term investment? So in other words, will the cards be worth something? Well, you're probably referring to things like Flesh and Blood, which has turned out to be worth a lot. I mean, collectibles are so through the roof right now, no matter what you're collecting. That I definitely could see My Hero Academia being in that boat. I haven't watched. I know that these secret rares from the first set had started off at like the several $100s, so I got a secret rare here. And those were like selling for, I want to say $250 or $300, which is pretty good for a single card. But I think they've since come down closer to the $100 mark, so I don't think it's going to be your best, but all collectibles are good investments right now. So, and with inflation the way it is, at least in America, it's hard to not say it's a good investment because they all are right now. All right, Katsuki Bakugo. This is kind of the main, the other main character. 7 hand size version of him. 20. He can destroy foundations. Cool. Nice. So we got him. And here is Tetsutetsu's Fist, which is another rare. Another punch. I have to see. And that one has Powerful. Oh, I'm sorry. Powerful adds to damage. EX adds to speed. I do remember. Sometimes I'm a little slow with all the games I play, remembering all the abilities. But it's funny. It just doesn't come too bad. Okay, here's the bird hero, Fumikaji Tokuyami. And here's a new version of him, and it talks about adding allies from your discard pile. So I'm intrigued if they gave them new abilities. I remember him having something like that, so I'll have to go back through and see what they gave him. All right, Fruit of Our Labors. Did I get that one already? Was that my one from here? Oh, I got an XR of that. That's why. Okay, so now I got the rare, and then I got that one. So that one's doubled up. Hey, I got 2 of those now. Hopefully I need 2 of them. Let's see. Rival's turn, remove, discard 2 cards from your card pool. Okay, so it helps you to be able to... And then flip, your rival builds 1 card from their hand face down. Okay. To kind of make them do things. That's a Deadlock, which is when your opponent has. It's either 10 or 12 foundations on the board. I don't remember the exact number. All right, I got 2 in here. So I got Hero Killer, so that is another stain card. And remove after your rival builds or unflips a foundation, remove it. I have 1 XSR Cowling and 2 SR Cowling and 3 SR Bakugo Nitro Explosion Ignitions. Yeah, how are those doing price-wise? Are those, it sounds like if you have them, you're not selling them? So that would kind of be an interesting part. I don't know. I mean, I'm a player of games. I'm not a collector of them and a seller, so it's hard for me to know. But I remember just kind of seeing some of the prices on some of the things as people talk about that. And obviously, if you sell some of your cards, you're able to purchase more cards. But that sounds like a pretty good set. Yeah, all those were in the first edition. Yeah, nice. All right, here's another version of Tenya Aida and a Fighting Spirit. Cool. And then an XR Off Guard Punch. Cool. We're getting down there. We got 4 packs left. Yeah, a lot of people collecting Pokemon cards and all sorts of other cards for their resale value, so makes sense. All right, aiming for number 1. This is another ultra rare. I've gotten a lot of ultra rares. And this looks like it can be used by anybody, I believe is how this one works. And it is unique, so you can only have 1 in play. Cool. Response, after your rival adds any number of cards to their hand due to their non-character effect, they discard 1 card. Oh, so it's just permanently on there. Gotcha. After your rival adds any number of cards to their hand due to their non-character effect, draw 2 cards. Cool. Another Stain. And Fusion. Nice. All right. So that one's going to let me, your EX or kick attack gets +2 speed. So that sounds like an Aida card. Your rival's attacks get -2 speed. Wow. And that doesn't... Oh, it does have to be committed. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of cards to go through because, like I said, these cards are pretty playable. Himiko Toga. So she is a 7 hand size, 20 damage character. Lose 1 health. Your attack gets +1 speed if your attack is blocked. Your rival loses 1 health. And your next attack gets +1 speed. Nice. You can't reduce them. You can't defeat them with this ability. Twice per turn, after your rival loses health, gain 1 health, draw a card, and discard a card. Huh, okay, that's interesting. That's just kind of tempo versus them. New training method. So it looks like another card. Oh yeah, they often put their picture on if it's kind of their card, so you can kind of tell who it's going with, and then there's like off cards that can play with people still, because you can use them, but they try to... Well, in the first set, it was easy to tell who they went with. All right, and that was a rare. Let's see what we get in this one. Do we get a second secret rare in this box? Ooh, Shoto Todoroki. He tends to be like the most popular one. 6 hand size, 27. He's got 3 enhances on him. Both players add momentum. Your range attack gains stun 2. Your attack gets +2 speed and +2 damage once per turn. Wow. All right, yeah. He's going to be very good. Mall Day and... an uncommon, and my final rare is Finishing Blast. Awesome. We got a whole stack of cards here. That we've got. So yeah, you can see pretty much its foundations and attacks. I got 1 asset, which actually was a rare. I got a couple actions here, right? One of these actions was a rare. And then, of course, I got the hero cards, which eventually you'll have them. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And Stain was a double, so there's at least 16 heroes. I'm guessing there might be 18, but maybe I got all 16. Who knows? I might have done very well. So there's that. Awesome. Well, that is My Hero Academia Crimson Rampage. Now I got to build decks and I got to play the game. We're going to get this going in June at the store, so I'll be playing there a whole bunch. I'll have a lot more with that, and we'll try to get a video up as well. Thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate your time. Go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. And let me know down below, are you playing My Hero Academia? Are you interested in My Hero Academia? Are you not interested in a collectible game? Let me know what your interest level is with the game. And we'll try to get some more things up for you and whatnot and happening. Until next time, my name is the Brandt, and I hope you step